You're listening to the Emotional Abuse Recovery Podcast, episode number 25. I don't know about you, but I used to get really frustrated when people would tell me to just let it go or get over it or move on. I experienced some serious emotional abuse in my life for a really long time, and just letting it go wasn't helpful or supportive at all. It did, however, lead me to believe that they just wanted me to stop talking about my pain and suffering, or in some cases, they just didn't like seeing or hearing me in so much pain, and they thought telling me to let it go would actually benefit me somehow. But the reality of this is you can't just think your way into letting go. You aren't Elsa from Frozen, and quite frankly, your life isn't a Disney movie. So today, I want to come on here to help you actually let go. I'm not going to just tell you why you need to let go, because let's face it, you can get that information on Google. And if you're like most people who are struggling with emotions, you already know why it's important. It's the how to let go that you aren't sure about. It's better for your health, physically and emotionally, for your relationships. Yeah, we all know we need to let go. The problem is, nobody really tells us how. But I'm going to share with you some simple life hacks on how to let go that no one has told you. So grab a pen and paper and stay tuned, because you're not going to want to miss this. Welcome to the Emotional Abuse Recovery Podcast, a podcast specifically designed to help you heal after a toxic or narcissistic relationship. This podcast teaches you to use your subconscious mind to go from feeling stuck to set free. In here, you will learn how to use the power of your own mind to free yourself from emotional pain, move forward with confidence, and experience the inner peace you deserve in your healing journey after emotional abuse. I'm your host and subconscious reprogramming coach, Allison Dagny. So let's get started. Letting go isn't as easy as it sounds unless you know how the subconscious mind works. In that case, letting go can be way easier than you think and offer you the releases that you've been craving. If this is the first time you're listening, I want you to know your inability to let go or move on or just forget about it isn't because there's something wrong with you. Nope, it's not that at all. Not being able to let go is simply a result of how your mind is wired. Why do you think it is that some people have zero trouble letting go? Why is it that some women are trauma bonded so deeply to their exes, but others move on so quickly? Why can two people have similar experiences but different outcomes and different emotions about it? Well, the reason is this. You are a product of your programming, and your programming is all the things you've been taught, told, made to believe, conditioned with, plus all of your experiences of the world. And that is what people have said about you, what they have told you, your traumas, your joys. Every little thing you've been programmed with is why you are who you are and created your perceptions of this world and everyone in it, including yourself. So now that you're aware of this, you can begin to unravel the how of letting go. So let's dive right in. First things first, awareness is absolutely key. You cannot fix something you aren't aware of. How are you going to fix a problem you don't know exists? Well, you aren't. It will most likely continue and just get worse. But here's your first hack. When you feel an emotion rise up within you, whether it's sadness, anger, frustration, guilt, or regret, pay attention. Your emotions are like little alarms going off. They're saying to you, pay attention because something isn't right here. Now, most people know logically that something isn't right when they feel bad, but the mistake most people make is that they think the external circumstances are the source of why they're feeling bad. Here's what I mean. Someone is talking really loudly on their cell phone in the grocery checkout line, and you are quite annoyed. How rude, you think. They shouldn't be on their phone right now. People who do that are the worst, and probably a whole host of other thoughts are running through your mind. If only that person would just behave how I think they should behave, I wouldn't be so annoyed, right? Well, if you're like how I used to be and how many people are to this day, you might agree. But I'd like you to consider something else. Remember, this is the Emotional Abuse Recovery Podcast, and we have to start thinking differently if we want to heal. If you hinge all of your internal emotions on the actions of other people, those people are in control of how you feel. Wouldn't it be so much more empowering if you could not be affected by the actions of others when they go on being who they are? So your first hack is to be aware that your thoughts create your emotions, and take ownership of how you feel. When you feel any negative emotion, ask yourself, what am I thinking about right now? I'd love to invite you to practice this today or maybe one day this week. The next time you get annoyed or frustrated by something, think of like a pet peeve. Inspect what's going on in your mind about that. How are you judging the situation? How are you judging others? Then from there, just ask yourself one question. How might someone else see this differently from me? Let's go back to the rude customer on her phone in the store checkout. Could it be possible that she was expecting that call for a week and it was really important not to miss it? Could it be possible that she was brought up in a family where no one considered other people around them and that's all she's ever known? Could it be possible that the person on the other end is hard of hearing and so she has to talk really loudly? Now, I need you to understand something. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between good and bad and right and wrong. It literally has no concept of morals or values. We, as human beings, place those judgments on things, but the subconscious mind doesn't know. It just believes whatever you tell it. So if you tell it, she shouldn't be doing that, then your mind believes you and runs with it. And when that happens, reality disagrees with what you believe, and then you get upset. Whenever reality disagrees with what we believe, we experience negative emotions. What this hack does, it opens the door just a crack to show your mind something different from what you've got on repeat automatically. Remember, the thoughts create the emotions. So just be aware and challenge those thoughts a little at a time. This helps you let go of the things that your mind is holding onto so tightly. So when the lady is being rude on her phone, you can still access peace inside yourself. I realize this example is different from some of the bigger, more difficult things to let go of, like a trauma bond to an ex or a deep wound because someone hurt you. But I use examples like this because they are a bit easier to release when you're first learning how to do this. Then when you do this in all different situations in your life regularly, it becomes easier to let go of the big stuff. The second hack is getting to the subconscious thoughts. When people say let go or move on, what they're basically saying is get this out of your head, quit thinking about it, quit letting it take up space in your mind, stop worrying about it. But again, nobody says how to do this. The news I have for those folks is this. You cannot just let go of something without knowing why you can't let go. All you know is you can't let go. The reason you can't let go is because of what you are believing in your subconscious mind. Things that might or might not be true. And it's not the person or the relationship we can't let go of. It's what letting go of it means that we often resist. I had a client once who was struggling so much with anger. She was angry so much of the time and couldn't find peace inside herself. So knowing why you can't let go will help you hack your healing and let go. This is one of my favorite things to ask my clients, and now I'll ask you. If you looked at a future version of yourself and you had let go already, what would you be believing about yourself? Most people will say things like, I'm no longer stuck in the past, I can heal myself, I'm powerful, I can do difficult things. And those answers actually tell me what you're not believing. The opposites of those answers are the reasons you can't let go. Things like, I am stuck in the past, I can't heal myself, I'm not powerful, I can't do difficult things. Those are the actual beliefs that would be living in your subconscious if you answered the question in the ways I said before. When you ask yourself these kinds of questions, you are revealing what is going on in your subconscious mind. But the most important thing to do here is to not blindly believe these things without question, but to start asking what else is possible. Can I show my mind times I did heal myself in any way whatsoever? Can I show my mind in ways I have ever been powerful, or times I did do difficult things? You see, all we're doing here is revealing the why, and that is your subconscious mind. Okay, so the third hack to letting go is to understand the source of your resistance. Resistance happens when we get something from holding on. This might sound counter to what it seems, but our minds work to protect us. We might hold on to things we know we need to let go of simply because our brain thinks it's safer to hold on. For instance, if you resist letting go of an emotion like regret, there is typically a positive intention as to why your mind doesn't actually want to let that go or is in resistance to letting it go. It's like if a person smokes cigarettes. They don't decide to smoke because they want to get emphysema or lung cancer. They smoke because it helps them relax or allows them to be social with friends or some other positive intention. That is the reason they are choosing to do that. It's the same with your resistance to letting go of an emotion that doesn't serve you. So let's just say you're holding on to regret because you stayed too long in a toxic relationship. You regret not leaving sooner. You regret ignoring the red flags. But let me ask you, does regret do anything for you? Does it change what happened in the past, or does it just make you feel bad about yourself now? We can acknowledge we could have made different choices and then make them in the future. But the reality is we can't change the past. So holding regret only weighs us down. So why might someone resist letting go of regret, knowing that it just holds us down? Remember, there's a positive intention behind it. So here are some questions to get you thinking. What would it mean if you let go of regret? Is there any benefit you could see to holding on to regret? And when I ask this question of my clients, initially they're always saying, no, there's no benefit. But when you really get into your subconscious mind, you end up hearing answers like, if I let go of regret, that means I won't be held accountable and I'll let it happen again. And I've also heard things like, if I don't regret my decision to stay, that means I don't care about my kids. But then I'd ask you some other questions. If you let go of regret, couldn't it also mean that you release yourself from the hold to the past so that you can move forward? And isn't it also possible that you can let go of regret and still make sure you never let it happen again? Does regret actually make you not let it happen again? Or does the pain of the experience do that on its own? Regret is one of those emotions that really serves no purpose because we can make new choices that were different from the past, yet still carry regret, or we can make new choices that were different from the past and let that regret go. If you believe regretting to stay as long as you did means you don't care about your children, of course you'll want to hold on to regret. The feeling of regret is making you believe you care about your children. But let me ask you something. Aren't there other ways you prove that you do care about your children already? Don't you have specific examples of times that show your mind you actually do care about your children without carrying regret? So you see, resisting letting go of an emotion is really just your mind's way of protecting you, and that's its job. But it's sort of like a faulty program running in your mind, because the reality is regret doesn't prove you care about your kids. You do. Okay, so I hope these hacks have been helpful to you, and if you'd like to work with me on a deeper level to heal your subconscious mind, send me a message. My DMs are open, and I'm happy to talk to you to see if this is the right type of support that you need. Thank you for being here with me today in the Emotional Abuse Recovery Podcast. I hope you found value here with me. If this podcast episode was helpful to you, I'd love for you to hit subscribe and leave me a review. My goal is to help you go from feeling stuck to set free. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, and you can check out whentearsleavescars.com for more resources and information to help you with your own emotional abuse recovery. Until next time, here's to believing in